Tradition has it that during the last century, Fair Day in Ardara County Donegal was a colourful occasion when merchants and farmers came to deal, and when the business was complete, the drinking and the crack took over. This year, the old customs were revived, thanks mainly to a woman who was fascinated by the intricate skills associated with weaving, a trade indigenous to the area. Judith Hoad has just written a book called This is Donegal Tweed, which tells the story of weaving. She set up her own company, Shoestring Publications, to bring it out. And for the book launch day, she gathered the old crafts and characters to reenact a typical Ardara Fair day.
One of the first things that happened to me was that I was asked to write an academic paper for a periodical about Donegal Tweed. And I set about doing this. I had 6,000 words in which to do it. And by the time, as a spinner and weaver, I had gone around and researched, I found there was far more material than I could really encompass in 6,000 words. So I decided I wanted to write a book. That was the beginning. I interviewed endless people, both in County Donegal and outside it. I went all over the country, a lot of it on my bicycle. And today has given me an opportunity to give back to so many people who gave to me a little bit of that wonderful warmth that I found here in Donegal.
How come it takes a Welsh woman to write the definitive book about Donegal Tweed?
Well, I'm not really certain about why it should be anybody, except that I was already a hand-skilled worker in the skills involved, so I knew what I was looking at. I wasn't approaching it like a journalist or an academic might do. But after that, possibly the observer sees more of the game. And I'm also extremely interested in people. I find them quite fascinating. So as this is an ethnic textile that grew out of the needs of the people and therefore was the product of the people are just an integral part of it, a part of the story. So I needed those people to write about, and I made friends with them.
The local parish council went to great efforts to ensure that Fair Day was a successful occasion. The many characters and old customs on view made it a day to remember. On the occasion, the chairman of the world-renowned Magee company told Irish people that they can play their part in keeping up the sales of Donegal Tweed, a genuine Irish product.
Now, unfortunately, at the moment, because of the bad tourist year, because of a measure of recession in America, the trade for tweeds and hand-woven tweeds in particular, which are largely single width, has not been as easy as one would like. But our aim and object, we have approximately 40 cottage weavers, and our aim and object is to keep alive this tradition, which a skill which is in Donegal, and which, if it was lost, would be a tragedy. And it will be lost unless people continue to ask all over the world, go into the shops and ask, look, is this garment I'm buying, is it a genuine Donegal hand-woven tweed? Is this, and if they ask for that, they can create the demand that will ensure the continuation of a unique skill which is traditional to Ireland.
Ardara itself deserves its reputation as one of the friendliest towns in the country. The community spirit here among old and young is very evident. I asked a local man, Paddy Shovlin, what he thought of Fair Day.
Well, you wouldn't have the same kind of crowds, I don't think, on an average Fair Day. The Fair Day in Ardara was usually the first day of every month, 12 months of the year. You know, and there was a lot of cattle and sheep, you know, but you wouldn't have the same kind of crowds. You wouldn't have the same kind of dress. And you know, as I was saying, the seats just over the town there, there's BMXs, you know, and there's the latest teenage gear. And you'll see written on the tab, made in Taiwan. You know, I don't think you would have that, you know, 50, 60 years ago. I think you can't stop progress, really and truly. And, you know, there has, you know, people would have to say there was progress in this town over the past 50, 60 years ago. The sad thing is, though, that there's just not enough employment for the youth. And it's sad, I think, to see them leave to head for London, Manchester, Birmingham and America within theirs, illegal citizens, and chancing their arm, as I know a whole lot of them are doing. You know, but who can say that's wrong either?
That's fine.